Good day, everyone. I am Rachel and Brandes, and today we will be discussing the I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou. So, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings is an autobiography by Maya Angelou that tells a story of her life up to the age of 17. So, it is a powerful and poignant tale that covers a wide range of themes, including race, identity, family, and resilience. Here is an overview of the main events of the story that is organized according to classic structure of exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. So first, let us discuss about the author. Margaret Annie Johnson, also known as Maya Angelou, was an American author, actress, screenwriter, dancer, poet, and civil rights activist best known for her 1969 memoir, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, which made literary history as the first nonfiction bestseller by an African American woman. Angela received several honors throughout her career, including two NAACP Image Award in the Outstanding Literary Work Nonfiction category in 2005 and 2009. Here is an overview of the main events of the story that is organized according to classic structure of exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. So the first one is exposition. The story begins with Maya Angelou as a young child living in Stumps, Arkansas, where she and her brother are raised by their grandmother and uncle. So the narrative then moves back in the time to Maya's early childhood in St. Louis, Missouri, when she and her brother are sent to live with their mother. Next one is rising action. Maya and her brother face numerous challenges and hardships as they grow up in St. Louis, including poverty, racism, and sexual abuse. Maya also experiences the joy of of friendship and the power of literature and education, which help her to find her voice and develop a sense of self-worth. Next one is climax. So the climax of the story occurs when Maya is raped by her mother's boyfriend at the age of 8. So the traumatic events leaves her mute for several years, and she struggles to find a way to express herself and cope with the trauma. So, following action, as Maya grows older, she begins to find her voice again and learns to express herself through writing and poetry. Well, she also begins to understand the importance of self acceptance and forgiveness and finds the strength of confront her past and move forward. Now, the last one is resolution. So the story ends with Maya as a young woman who has overcome many challenges and is on the path to healing and self discovery. So she has found her voice and is able to use it to inspire and empower others. So now let's move on to the six major characters in the story. Actually, it has 27 characters, but I only chose the six major characters. So the first one is Maya Angelou. So she is the protagonist in the story and the narrator of her autobiographical work. So as a protagonist, Angelou is the central character in the story and one whose actions and decisions drive the plot forward. So the book tells the story of Angelou's life up to the age of 17 and covers a wide range of experiences and emotion from joy and laughter to pain and trauma. Throughout the book, Angelo faces numerous challenges and hardships, including poverty, racism, and sexual abuse, as what I have said earlier. So, despite these challenges, she finds the strength and resilience to overcome adversity and achieve success as a writer and public figure. So, Angelo's struggles and triumphs are depicted in an honest and unflinching way, making her a relatable and compelling protagonist. So, as the narrator of the story, Angela also plays a crucial role in shaping the tone and style of the book. While her voice is distinctive and powerful, and her use of language and imagery helps to convey the emotional depth and complexity of her experiences. So, overall, Angela's role as a protagonist and narrator in I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings make her essential and memorable character in the story. Next one is Mr. Freeman. So in I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, Mr. Freeman could be seen as an antagonist because he causes harm and conflict for the protagonist, which is Maya Angelou. So Mr. Freeman is a character who is initially presented as likable and friendly, but ultimately betrays Maya's trust and sexually abuses her. So this traumatic experience has a significant impact on Maya's life and causes her to struggle with feelings of shame, guilt, and trauma. So as a result, Mr. Freeman could be considered an antagonist because he creates conflict and challenges for Maya, and his actions has negative consequences for her. The next one is Bailey Johnson Jr. In I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, Bailey Johnson Jr. is Maya Angelou's older brother. So he is a central character in the story or in the book and plays a significant role in Maya's life. Maya and Bailey are very close, and Bailey serves as a source of support and protection for Maya as they grow up in St. Louis and face numerous challenges and hardships. Bailey is also a talented and ambitious young man who works hard to succeed in school and eventually becomes a successful lawyer. However, he also struggles with his own demons, including feelings of inadequacy and desire for acceptance, and he turns to alcohol to cope with these issues. So, despite these challenges, Bailey remains a loving and supportive brother to Maya and a positive influence in her life. The next one is Billy Johnson. Billy Johnson is the father of Maya Angelou in the autobiographical novel. He is portrayed as a kind and loving father who is supportive of his daughter's education and dreams. However, he is also depicted as being somewhat distant and detached due to his own personal struggles and challenges. Vivian Baxter is the mother of Maya Angelou, the author of I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. She is portrayed as a strong, independent woman who works hard to provide for her children and support their education. So, despite facing challenges and struggles, she always encourages Maya to pursue her dreams and be proud of her identity. Annie Henderson is the maternal grandmother of Maya Angelou in the novel. So, she is a strong and independent woman who raises Maya and her brother, Bailey, and after their parents abandoned them. And despite facing adversity and racism, Annie Henderson is able to provide for her grandchildren and instill in them a sense of pride and self-worth. So she is a loving and nurturing caregiver who serves as a positive influence in Maya's life. So now let's move on to the writing style and themes of Maya Angelou's I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. So Maya Angelou's writing style is characterized by its lyricism, its use of figurative language, and its ability to convey emotion. One of the most striking features of Maya Angelou's writing is its use of figurative language, including the metaphors and similes. For example, in the title of the book itself, Angelou uses the metaphor of a caged bird to symbolize the experience of being trapped or restricted in some way. Throughout the book, she uses this metaphor and others to explore themes of freedom, oppression, and the human spirit. So Angela's writing is also characterized by its emotional depth and its ability to convey the complexity feelings and experiences of her characters. She uses descriptive language and evocative imagery to paint a vivid picture of the world and she writes about. And her prose is often infused with a sense of hope, resilience, and strength. Overall, Angela's writing style and I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings is powerful and moving, and it has helped to make the book a classic of literature. So, the next one is the theme of the novel, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. The book is known for its themes of identity, racism, trauma, and resilience. So identity throughout the book, Maya struggles to understand and define her own identity as a black woman growing up in the segregated South. So she grapples with internalized racism and the ways in her which society expects her to behave based on her race and gender. And the next theme is racism. So it deals with the impact of racism on Maya's life, both in the form of overt discrimination and more subtle forms of prejudice. So Maya and her family experienced various forms of racism, including segregation and hate crimes. So the next one is trauma. The book also explores the book also explores the theme of trauma as Maya grapples with the effects of sexual abuse and other forms of violence. So she is able to find strength and resilience through her relationships with others and her own inner strength. The last theme is resilience. So resilience, despite the many challenges and hardships she faces, Maya is able to find resilience and overcome adversity through her own determination and the support of those around her. So the book serves as a testament to the human spirit and the ability to overcome even the most difficult circumstances. So let's move on to the critical approaches in the novel. So one critical approach to analyzing the novel is through the biographical approach. The biographical approach to the novel focuses on the ways in which Angelou's own life experiences influenced the events and characters in the novel. So Angelou was born in St. Louis, Missouri, 1928, and was raised by her grandmother in rural Arkansas. So she faced a number of challenges throughout her childhood, including poverty, racism, and sexual abuse, as what I have said earlier. Another approach to analyzing the novel is through psychological lens. This approach allows the reader to explore Maya's inner thoughts and emotions, as well as psychological effects of the traumatic events she experiences. For example, the novel portrays Maya's struggles with self-esteem and identity as she navigates the complexity of growing up in black female in racist and sexist society. Additionally, the novel shows how Maya's experiences with trauma, such as death of her friend and her own sexual assault, impact her psychological development. A fourth approach to analyzing the novel is through historical lens. So this approach considers the novel in the text of the time period in which it is set. Through this lens, the reader can examine how Maya's experiences reflect the broader historical events and issues of the era, so such as segregation and the civil rights movement. So, additionally, the novel provides a unique perspectives on the perspective of the African American experience during this time period, as it told from the perspective of a young black girl growing up in the South. So overall, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings is a powerful and moving novel that explores the complexity of growing up black and female in America. So through its depiction of Maya's experiences, the novel offers insight into the impact of racism and sexism on the individual, as well as the broader historical and social issues of the time period. So that's all. Thank you. I hope you learned something.